good morning, afternoon, or evening from whenever or wherever you are watching this video from. I am Jack Adamas, back with my Premier League predictions, Game Week 11, Episode 11. Let's get straight into it. We start Game Week 11 with the 12:30 kickoff on Saturday, which sees Tottenham hosting Manchester United. Tottenham got a much needed win in the Champions League midweek as they put that disastrous display against Chelsea behind them. They now have the chance to win back-to-back games for the second time this season, and they'll be looking to do so as they did beat Manchester United 4 times last season. United come here on a good run of form themselves with 3 wins and 2 draws in their last 5 matches, which is their joint best run in the competition under Amorim, and they will be looking to continue that here. However, they do need to be better on the road as they've only won 1 of their last 11 league away matches. Like I already stated, Spurs did beat Manchester United 4 times last season, which now means they've gone on a run of 7 head-to-heads without tasting defeat. And if they do win here, they'll be the first time they've ever won 5 consecutive games against Manchester United, which I reckon they will do in a 2-1 win for Tottenham. Moving on to the 3 o'clock kickoffs, we start at the Hill Dickinson Stadium, where Everton take on Fulham. Everton had gone on a run of 3 wins and 2 draws at their new stadium before they suffered their first defeat here at the hands of Tottenham 2 weeks ago when they lost 3-0, which now means they are winless in their last 3 matches where they've only scored 1 goal in that time. However, they were unlucky last weekend not to get all 3 points away to Sunderland. Fulham will come into this one high on confidence as they did get a big win against Wolves last weekend where they won 3-0. They were good in that game, but Wolves were just as bad in that one. So here they will be coming here looking to get their first away win of the season. Everton have failed to beat Fulham in their last 5 home matches. I think that'll be 6 come full time as I reckon both teams will have to settle for a point here in a 1-1 draw. Next up we have West Ham at home to Burnley. West Ham looked like a completely different team last weekend as they beat Newcastle 3-1, and then going into this 6-pointer, they'll need to follow that up with another victory, which will only be their second win at home in 9 months. Burnley won back-to-back games in the Premier League before last weekend losing to Arsenal, which wasn't a surprise to anyone, but with West Ham already losing to the 2 newly promoted sides, Burnley will be looking to make it third time a charm here as they want to leave this game with all 3 points. West Ham could move out of the drop zone with a win here, and they are unbeaten in their last 6 home matches against Burnley. I think that'll be 7 come full time, as I reckon West Ham will get back-to-back home wins in a 2-0 win. And for the 5:30 kickoff on Saturday, it is fourth v first in the Premier League as Sunderland hosts Arsenal. Sunderland are flying high at the moment and they only have 1 defeat in their last 8 matches, and they are one of only 5 teams still unbeaten on home soil this season, so they could throw a curveball in the title race here, as it wouldn't be such a surprise as we all thought it would be at the beginning of the season. Arsenal come into this game and they've won their last 10 games in a row in all competitions, conceded only 1 goal in that run as well, but that did come in this part of the country. If Arsenal do keep another clean sheet here, it'll be the first time since 1987 that they've kept 5 clean sheets in a row in the league. I do believe that Arsenal will win here and take all 3 points, but I do believe that Sunderland will make this a tricky game. I reckon they will score here as well, as I can see Arsenal winning here in a 2-1 victory. And for the 8 o'clock kickoff on Saturday, we travel to London as we have Chelsea at home to Wolves. Chelsea have had a few bad results of late as they did lose their last home game 2-1 to Sunderland, and they did draw away to Qarabağ in the Champions League midweek. However, in between those 2 games, they did beat Spurs, and they also beat their opponents here as they beat Wolves 4-3 away in the Carabao Cup. Managerless Wolves lost last weekend about 20 minutes away from Stamford Bridge as they lost 3-0 to Fulham, which now means they've gone 10 games this season without getting a victory. Last season it took them 11 games to get their first victory, so will history repeat itself this season? But with Wolves losing 4 of their 5 league away matches this season, scoring only 1 goal in those 5 matches, I think they will suffer back-to-back 3-0 defeats, as I can see Chelsea getting a win here in a 3-0 victory. Moving on to Sunday, where we have 4 games kicking off at 2 p.m, we start with Aston Villa at home to Bournemouth. 2 of the informed teams play each other here, as Aston Villa have won their last 5 home games in all competitions, and they've only suffered 2 defeats in their last 9 games in all competitions, 1 in the Premier League and 1 in the Europa League. Bournemouth were flying high and they were on an 8-game unbeaten run until they lost last weekend as they suffered a defeat to the hands of Man City. They haven't lost back-to-back games in the Premier League since the back end of last season when ironically, they lost to Man City and yes, you guessed it, Aston Villa. And with Villa being unbeaten in their last 5 head-to-heads against Bournemouth, I think that'll be 6 come full time in a hard-fought 2-1 victory. Next up we have Brentford at home to Newcastle. Brentford were one of the teams tipped for relegation this season, but they currently sit mid-table. They sit 6 points off the drop zone and 5 points off the Champions League spots. They did lose last weekend though, as they lost 2-0 to Crystal Palace, but on home soil they're doing really well, as they've only lost 2 of their last 9 home league matches. Newcastle got a 2-0 victory midweek in the Champions League against Atletico Bilbao, which now leaves them 6th place in the league phase in that competition. However, in the Premier League, their away form has been abysmal, as they are yet to win on the road, and they lost last weekend in a very poor performance, as they lost to 18th place West Ham 3-1. But with Brentford only winning 1 of their last 8 head-to-heads between these two sides, I think that will continue come full time, as I can see this one ending in a 1-1 draw. Staying in London, we have Crystal Palace at home to Brighton. Crystal Palace went through October without winning a game, with 1 draw and 2 defeats in October. They did get back to winning ways last weekend though, as they beat Brentford 2-0 at home, and they followed that up with a 3-1 win against Alkmaar in the Conference League, which now means they've had their best start to a season since 1991-1992. Brighton only sit 1 point behind Crystal Palace in the table, and that's down to their good run of form where they've only lost 1 of their last 6 league matches. They will be looking to make it 3 wins in a row in London here come full time. The all-time head-to-head between these two sides sees both teams having 51 wins to their name. I think that will stay the same come full-time, as I reckon we'll get the 42nd ever draw between these two sides, as this one will end in a 1-1 draw. And the last of the 4 2 o'clock kickoffs on Sunday sees Nottingham Forest at home to Leeds. Forest come into this one off back-to-back draws, which now means they've got 2 draws, 1 win and 1 loss to their name under Sean Dyche. This will be his 5th game in charge, and it will be his easiest game on paper. Leeds are slowly dropping down the table with 3 losses in their last 4 matches, and they have lost 5 of their 6 games away from home this season in all competitions. The other one did come in a victory though, so will they get their second league way win of the season here? Only time will tell. And with the last 6 head-to-heads between these two sides on the day finishing without a draw, with 4 wins for Nottingham Forest and 2 wins for Leeds, I think it'll be number 7 come full time, as I can see Nottingham Forest getting a victory here in a 2-0 win. And to round up Game Week 11, we have Game of the Weekend at 4:30 on Sunday as Man City host Liverpool. City showed signs of the old City midweek as they beat Dortmund 4-1 in the Champions League, which continues their good run of form to 6 wins in their last 7 matches, where they have scored 15 goals in that time. And on top of that, their home record's even better, where they have won 9 of their last 10 home matches. Their only defeat came this season at the hands of Spurs early on in the season. Liverpool had a blip at the beginning of the season, and it is early doors, but that could cost them the title this season. However, they have shown signs of steadying that ship, as they have won their last 2 games in a row, which were both hard games against Aston Villa and Real Madrid in the Champions League, and they kept a clean sheet in both of those games. Bad news for Liverpool though, they have lost their last 3 league away matches. They haven't lost 4 games on the road on the bounce since 2012. Liverpool did the league double over City last season. I don't think they'll win here, but I can't see them losing either. I think this one will end in a high-scoring 2-2 draw, and this will be one of the games of the season. Thank you very much if you are still here at the end of my video. I really do appreciate the love and support I've been getting from you guys. Please do continue to like, share, but most importantly, subscribe to that YouTube channel, as we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Have a good weekend, guys, and remember, if you don't shoot, you can't score. Bye, guys. Have a good weekend.